Come with me this afternoon and we're going to be replacing the timing belt and water pump on a 2012 Nissan Qashqai 1.5 DCI. First things first, with any timing belt, pull the key out of the ignition, chuck it on the seat or disconnect the battery. We need to remove a few components, the fuel filter and the housing, so we can just gain access to the bolts for the engine mount. Now I've got the upper engine mount off, and a lot of people ask me, how do I support the engine when I'm taking the car up? Simple, block wood on the subframe or underneath the dry shaft and that'll support it. Anyway, while we're here, I've removed the alternator belt. I just need to remove these little clips and we can bring the car back down now and take the plastic cover off. Now that we've got the plastic covers off and the upper engine mount, we can get this other engine mount off, which bolts to the block, and it is a little bit of a fiddle. You've got to come through where I call it the first engine mount, with a little bit of an extension straight through, and you can just see it. They're a bit of a fiddle, but never mind. Let's get them out. Now that we've got full access to all the pulleys, we do need to get the engine timed up, and how I'm going to do that, 18mm long extensions through to the crank, and we need to get onto these timing marks here and use one in the camshaft and one in the crankshaft, and I'll show you where this one goes now. Now you put the one in the crank first and I'll show you where it goes. It literally locates, hang on, give me a second, in there, screw it in until it tightens up. Once the crankshaft pin is in, you can jump on your ratchet now, turn your crank, and you should be able to turn that engine until it locks on the webbing on the pin, and then you get your timing pin for your camshaft and that'll just slide in like so. Now I've got the vehicle in the air again, get yourself an 18mm on your impact gun and we can just crack this crank bolt off like so. Now that we've got everything removed out of the way, we can move around to the tensioner, get your 13mm and just slacken it off, kind of get the spanner on just like so, and then we can get the timing belt off. Now we need to move around to the water pump, which is held on with 4 8mm. Take them out, pull the water pump off and let the water drain into the lovely little receptacle. Now we've got the water pump, and the same as always, you make sure that surface is like brand new. Right, let's get this new water pump on, and it has got a new gasket. You do not need sealant on it whatsoever. Now on these Renault water pumps, I don't know whether any of you know, but on one of the bolts, this one here on this bottom corner, it goes into a water gallery. So anyway, what we need is a little bit of liquid PTFE on the bolt, and then we can wind it in, because if you don't put that on, it will leak. Now I've got the brand new timing belt on. Now this belt has got lines on it and it marks up with little dots on all the pulleys, so it is pretty much impossible to get wrong. You've got to slack these 3 bolts off on the camshaft pulley, and as you tighten it, you can see the pulley is moving. So as you're tightening the tensioner, it'll just twist and line up perfectly. That way you get the perfect tension every time. Once you've got your tension on, tighten your tensioner bolt up, and then we can get round to the camshaft pulleys and get them torqued up to 14 Newton meters. And there we go. Now all the belt is on and all the marks are as it should be, and everything's torqued up to spec a Rooney. We can pull the timing pins out of the camshaft and the crankshaft, and then I'm running a bit behind time, so I'm literally just going to slap it all back together. And there we go, that is all built back up. I've also put a brand new auxiliary drive belt on it. Right, let's get on the Kia Rooney and give it a big start. Who else fears this after doing a timing belt job? I don't. Don't knock the wipers on. And there we go. She is up and running like a new one. And yeah, that's it. I put fresh coolant in it, the correct one for the vehicle. You give everything a bit of a wipe down, made it look like brand new. Don't forget to put your timing belt sticker on the bonnet, or somewhere where if they open the bonnet they can see it. We'll torque that wheel up now, make sure it's getting nice and warm, and then fans are cutting in. Yeah, and we'll get it sent.